Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is, where it's possibly going in the near term, a little bit of bearish ideology here, basically because of what the charts are saying. And we're also going to be talking about where the market cycle will go. And we'll also be kind of giving an update on a couple of altcoins like Cardano support and everything else. Let's get into Bitcoin. Before we do, go ahead and give me a like, really helps share these videos out. Subscribe as well if you want more crypto news and content. And in terms of Bitcoin, right now we're sitting at roughly $36,000 and it's been bouncing around there for the last few hours. Now, I do suspect at this point, because we're looking at the 4-hour chart, I do suspect because we have been rejected at that bar of, now we'll call it resistance, considering it used to be our almost support for a little while. But now it's our resistance fighting to get back up above the 42, which unfortunately I don't feel that we're going to do in the near term. I definitely feel like the downward trend is out. If you look at short sellers, there are a lot of short sellers in the market. So there's a lot of downward pressure pushing on Bitcoin right now. So I don't think that this is something that Bitcoin's just going to quickly recover out of. Now we did have that little bounce last night. I did warn a couple of people that had mentioned, Bitcoin's recovering and everything. I did warn a couple of people because, these bounces are pretty regular. Even here, you can see the big dip and then we kind of bounce up a little bit and then dipped further down. So it's expected that we can do similar moves and especially have like a mini relief rally. So that's why I say dollar cost average in, because you're probably going to get in at lower prices. And of course here it's lower prices unless you caught this wick here. But we do see it coming down, and I do think that there is a good likelihood that within the next maybe couple hours, if not a couple of days, we do breach down below the 32,000 mark. How low we'll go, I'm not quite sure. I don't suspect we'll be down there for long. It is always possible to see an under 30K Bitcoin. It's always possible, but in that situation, I would look at it as a prime buying opportunity, especially if your dollar cost average is above 30K, which if you've gotten in past January, your dollar cost average is above 30K. So please buy at that point. But it is expected that we're going to have some issues, but it is likely we're going to just bounce and find some sort of support within this channel until finally we're able to regain and kind of retest that 42. Now, of course, we're not back into the bull market at the 42. We need to breach and go roughly about to 52,000. We do see that we were fighting the 200-day, and when we broke out, that's basically when everything tumbled. So it is to be expected that we're going to kind of go on this decline. Now, if you look at the daily, you see that we obviously have slashed through the 200 as you saw in the 4-hour chart, but you can also see that yesterday didn't close above 42. We did peak above 42, but we didn't close above 42, which is going to be a pretty bearish indicator. That's why I suspected that today was going to be a red day, and I do suspect that most likely tonight and this weekend will be a pretty red weekend. So still, if you have fiat, my best advice at this point is to have some on the sidelines and look at things right now. Look at what things have dropped to. We see XRP at 99 cents. We see ADA holding at 148. We will talk about ADA specifically. DOT at a super low of $22. KSM at 308. BNB at 318. There's incredible prices right now, but I do suspect that they are going to go lower by the end of the night. So I do think in the evening we are going to have a pretty bad dip in terms of where we're going. Now, again, I just want to be clear that I don't think that we're going to fully breach below the 32,000. If we do, it'll be temporary. It'll be scary. Absolutely. Especially if we see an under 30,000 Bitcoin, it will absolutely be pretty scary. How far it'll go, I'm not quite sure. Will we beat out this wick? I don't know. I don't think so. But anything is still on the table at this point. But again, any major wick down below the 32, we still have a massive amount of support. So I still think that we'll be able to make it over. So I don't suspect that we'll be down there for long. But right now, at least staying within this channel of the 32 and the 42, I think that's going to be our trading channel until Bitcoin finally regains some ground. So we could be trading under the 200-day for a little bit, at least a couple of weeks to months. But again, if you talk about the long-term market cycle and a cool down right now, it's not the worst thing, especially when you look at the general market. We did have a pretty scary increase over the first part of the market when we did break out. And that's a pretty big incline without any correction. So we do know that Bitcoin was shooting past all estimates, all models. And we know that this market cycle was going to be longer. We talked about institutional money coming in, and everything is going to be a little bit longer just because of how the economy is going to be working about money coming into these systems. So it's expected that we're going to have a longer cycle, and these corrections, especially when Bitcoin is out of pace, is pretty accurate in terms of what's going to happen. Now, this is at this point the most severe crypto retracement that at least I've been through. Definitely, I lived through the March 2020 capitulation, but now this is easily one of the biggest dips that most people have experienced, especially in 2017. So yeah, it's understandable that people are scared at this point, but you should be looking into things like how to gain interest on your crypto using services like BlockFi, using services like Celsius. Right now, Celsius is giving $40 if you sign up. You can use the promo code down below. All these services give you interest on Bitcoin. So if you're long Bitcoin, or if you're long Ethereum, or you're long Algo, whatever altcoin you want to put into Celsius, you're earning that interest in cryptocurrency, right? Same thing where if you're stacking DOT on Kraken, you're earning that interest in cryptocurrency. So what these prices do right now doesn't actually matter in the long term of things, especially if you're long crypto. So I wouldn't look at this as a bad thing. I would look at this as a way to keep adding on to your bag. Because at this point, we can see that the market peak or the market cycle is probably going to be extended. So you're going to have a lot more time to accumulate some of the altcoins that you feel that you didn't have a big enough bag for. And I feel that a lot with a lot of altcoins personally. So that's the perception that I would take it in. So let's talk about some altcoins and discuss where we are. Ethereum. Now, if we talk about Ethereum had a lot of gas in the tanks. Ethereum made some pretty crazy moves over the last month and a half, and that's basically what everyone's eyes were on, basically where Ethereum is going to go. Could Ethereum drop even below this 1400 line of support? I personally believe that this is possible. We could see a wicked drop down below this. However, I don't think that would be long term. Now, if I am talking about short term, I am thinking maybe we could see roughly a $1,900 Ethereum this evening or this weekend. Again, will it last that long? I'm not sure. It really just depends on how dragged down is Ethereum, how dragged down is the rest of the crypto market from Bitcoin, because we do know that right now Bitcoin's dump is really affecting the entire crypto market, because we see that we have $1.5 trillion totally in the crypto market right now. Cardano is still fighting with our level of support. So again, we talked about this mode of resistance. It started out as resistance that we couldn't break above. Now it's kind of become a little bit of pseudo support for Cardano. So we've discussed that $1.50 is where we would hope that Cardano can hold. I don't expect that it's going to hold. Unfortunately, I am going to take a bearish outtake on basically every token that I look at, because right now it's just not looking good for the crypto market. It's looking like a massive trend reversal. So if anything, this weekend is definitely going to be a flash sale weekend. But again, any serious dips, they're all going to be temporary. And again, even if I'm wrong, if you're long crypto, none of that really matters. But we do still see Cardano fighting the good fight, trying to stay at $1.50, which is very good. Good to see at least. Hopefully it can hold. If it does go further down, that's okay. I would hope that Cardano trades around the $1.30 to $1.50 mark. But hopefully we do see Cardano make short order of this and do make a move up. Now we see Polkadot at a super low, and this actually makes me want to add Polkadot into my bags again, because we haven't seen a Polkadot like this since February. So this is a pretty good price. I am expecting that if everything else is going lower, I'm going to say Polkadot is most likely going to go lower as well. So my best advice at this point is to dollar cost average, leave some fiat on the sides, and be ready to buy the lower prices when you can. KSM is at $311, so I would absolutely say that this is a steal token at this price. We see that with BNB as well, $317. Hugely dropped about $400 from its all-time high, which is insane. We have VeChain almost 12 cents below its all-time high, but this is still not the lowest that we've seen VeChain. I'd probably say you'll get an opportunity at a lower price, but this is a pretty good price to enter if you don't have a VeChain already. One big thing that was nice to see, at least with my portfolio, is Cell Token hasn't really gotten beat up all that much. It has taken a bit of a drop, but it has held up a little bit. And you guys all know that I'm really bullish on Celsius, the platform. It's a really great platform to earn crypto, especially at the highest interest rates of the industry. You can store Pax Gold in it, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a slew of all their altcoins. There are better rates in terms of like the Polkadot rate. They give you 8%, but you can go stake it for 15 or Kraken for 12. There are other options for other tokens, but I do think that Celsius is by far one of the industry giants. And personally, I have about 30% of my portfolio with them. I would also like to make a huge shout out, a massive shout out to the one Canadian onboarding company that actually kept their services alive throughout everything, and that would be ShakePay. They've done amazing through the whole thing. I did use some other services while Newton was down, and Newton is still one of my favorites because I can buy XRP and move that off without a fee. But at the end of the day, ShakePay definitely owns up. ShakePay does charge you a little bit of a spread. They do charge you the network fee, Bitcoin or Ethereum, to transfer things off. But over the last couple of days, I in trust used Coinberry, and that was by far one of the worst experiences I've ever had with a crypto company, hands down, in Canada. So bad so that I've taken them out of my description, so no longer can you get a promo code with Coinberry for me. I don't support them, so I'm not going to put that down there. But I do recommend, if you haven't been using ShakePay, absolutely go check them out. There's a referral code down below. You get $10 for your first deposit. And just as a note, if you open the app and shake your phone every day, you get a little bit of sats. So it's a cool way to onboard people and let people shake their phone and earn some Bitcoin. So get your grandma doing it, get your kids doing it, ShakePay. So absolutely. I know some people will say ShakePay over Newton. I still really like Newton, regardless of the outages. I understand that there are issues happening. I totally get it. But ShakePay wasn't down at all. Their customer service is fantastic. And I'm very happy that they were around for a lot of you guys that were able to onboard crypto and buy the dip. Also, just as a reminder, I'm going to be bridging over some Ethereum onto the Sora network onto PSwap this weekend. If you guys want to follow along, all you're going to need to do is set up your Polkadot.js wallet. I'm going to put a comment down below, and you want to have Ethereum on your MetaMask. If you do that, you can go ahead and follow along with me on Saturday at 11 Eastern Standard Time, AM. And what we're going to do is I'm going to bridge my Ethereum over. Of course, the recording will be out there, so if it's something that you can't get on at that time, you can always follow the recording and go through the steps to bridge over Ethereum to the PokeSwap network. And then over there, we'll be providing liquidity, playing around, send some PokeSwap, that kind of thing. So that's it for me, everybody. Hopefully this video finds you well. Hopefully nobody's too freaked out about this dip. Buy the dip. That's it. And obviously, it's going to be an insanely beautiful weekend. So please go outside, enjoy the weekend, and happy hodling.